Alli Webb went from a stay-at-home mom to a high-profile businesswoman with A-list celebrity clients when she co-founded the hair salon company you all know at Drybar back in 2009. This thing took off like a rocket. It eventually grew to more than 150 locations nationwide. She sold the company in 2019 for more than $255 million. Thank you very much. But Webb says that as her career was skyrocketing, she was struggling behind the scenes, and now she's telling her story and the lesson she learned in her new book. It's called The Messy Truth, How I Sold My Business for Millions But Almost Lost Myself. Alli Webb joins us now. Alli, thank you so much for coming. Number one, The Messy Truth, I think, is a perfect title because it really was a mess in your life. and I don't mean that disrespectfully, but you write about 2 divorces, you write about a troubled child that you had, you write about how the business didn't go well, and the mistakes you learned along the way. One of my favorite chapters is balance is BS, except you say the real word. No one starts a successful business. You start a business and make it successful. Balance, you said, not worth it, not real, not worth pursuing. And you're welcome. I just saved you a lot of money. Why do you say that? Because we're all struggling. Balance, 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 balance. Why do you say that?
Well, I think it's this unattainable reality, and it just, in my experience, it doesn't exist. It's like some days it all works out, and you get to your kid's game and you finish the thing at work. But most days that's not a reality. It's like you're kind of, I feel like life is like a big game of whack-a-mole. It's like, there's kind of always something going on wherever you go. And the pressure we put on ourselves, especially as women, to like do all the things all the time is just so unrealistic that I'm like, let's just dispel that.
So
it's not real.
But how did it go so off the rails for you? Because here you're on the cover of all these magazines. Your business is a huge, huge success. Your children are struggling. Your marriage is struggling. How did it go so off the rails for you?
Well, I think I was so uber focused on the business, and my first husband, Cameron, I met him when I was living in New York City.
You said I met him in Hell. That was the name of the bar we all met.
Literally met in a bar named Hell 20 years ago in New York. And, we were really young, and it was not the right thing ultimately. We were best friends, and it was a great, beautiful friendship. But it was the writing was on the wall really the whole time, but we just kind of
both of you thought this is a mistake, but you still got married.
Yeah, it was like we were kids, and like we just didn't know, and but we made these 2 beautiful boys, and we started Drybar, and it was just like my life was like boom, 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 moving so fast. And once Drybar came along and it was this massive success, I was just so distracted with that, and I was on this rocket ship, and it was so exhilarating and intoxicating and, growing this business. But, there was things I wasn't paying attention to in my personal life, which I think we all do.
Of course.
When we're really distracted over here with something really great. And, I just wasn't paying attention to what was happening.
Gayle talked about the glitz and the glamour, being on the magazines, and it seemed like life is going well. And I love how you start off the book. It's like a movie. You cut right to it. It grabs you right out the gate. You say, listen, here's the things that you're going to deal with. And you put a line in there on the second page. You're going to deal with some deep, dark-ish.
Yes.
And you went through some dark moments.
Yeah.
You felt depression.
Yeah.
How did you get out of that space?
Well, I think, the drive that I have just naturally, I think I'm such a driven person, hence this, massive company that we built. And I think the same applies to my personal life. Like, I just was like, I don't want to be in this sad, depressed place anymore. I felt like I needed to let myself grieve, and there were things that were, hard that I needed time to get through. But I was like, okay, I'm a seeker. I want to go figure out what to do next, like
so
meditation, therapy. Yeah, I was.
How do you work on yourself while you're staying busy?
Well, you gotta find the time, And I think that was what I wasn't doing for most of my career. Like, I wasn't taking the time for myself. Like, so many of us don't. We're so busy, and we're so exciting, and like, go, 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 go. And now on this new season, this flip side of my life, I'm like, oh, I gotta put in the work. Like, do the things, take time for myself, meditate, go to therapy, go to retreats. I mean, now I do it all. There's not anything I haven't tried. I especially love this episode.
That's good.
Yeah, because, you just have to take the time for yourself, which I just didn't do. I was just on, like, go, go, go. And it can be really dangerous.
Wow. There's just so much in this book. I mean, we didn't even get into the sections about, which I really appreciated, about your older son in high school, going through rehab, guiding him through that, the wisdom that you as a parent take away from that. And I am curious, so how is the relationship today with your son?
It's amazing, and it was always amazing. And then we went off track a little bit, and he was having a really hard time communicating what was happening for him, and there was just so much change, and just so much upheaval. And as hard as it was, the almost 2 years he spent in rehab and recovery.
But I think it's important in less than 15 seconds to know that you and your son are okay.
Yes.
And this is a
There is
great
another
book for
side.
people.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
whole other
Yeah.
side.
He
for
did
you
the
to
work.
come through.
The Messy Truth
Yeah.
on sale now wherever you buy your books. We'll be right back.